Hey everyone, today's TV Tuesday, and for this episode, I will be reviewing the AMC series Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad tells the story of Walter White, a chemistry teacher from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He is diagnosed with lung cancer, he has a son with cerebral palsy, and his wife just nags him. So after Walt hears news of his diagnosis, he tries to figure out a way to provide for his family monetarily so that they will be well off when he is to pass. So after going on a ride-along with his DEA brother-in-law Hank to take down a meth lab, this is where Walter White gets the idea that he can sell meth to provide for his family's future. So he teams up with a former student of his, Jesse Pinkman, who knows the business side of it all, to create the most pure meth in the area, which is basically where our story begins. The show stars Bryan Cranston as Walter White, Aaron Paul as Jesse Pinkman, Anna Gunn as Skyler White, Walt's wife, R.J. Mitte as Walt Jr., his son, Dean Norris as Hank, his DEA agent brother-in-law, and Betsy Brandt as Marie, Hank's wife. I was introduced to the show on Netflix, and I gotta say, I'm glad I watched it then, because if I had to wait week by week by week to watch a new episode, I would lose my mind. This is a perfect show to binge watch, and it's a perfect show in general. One of the best AMC has ever produced, and one of the best you may ever see. I have to say that the chemistry between Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul as Walt and Jesse is perfect in this show. They feed off each other so well, I feel like, and that you really do feel emotions for both of them, and you understand both sides. That is the great thing about this show, is you get conflicting feelings from all these different characters, and you don't know really who you should root for. You know you want to root for Walt, but as the show progresses, you feel as though he's the villain, and other supporting characters are actually the ones that you should be rooting for, which is interesting in the show to see a good man transform into this anti-hero. Those two are my favorite characters in the series, but you also have to give a lot of love to the newer characters that come later on in the series. This includes Gus, portrayed by Giancarlo Esposito, Mike, played by Jonathan Banks, and Saul, portrayed by Bob Odenkirk. All three are great in this show, and they're a real treat, and I'm happy that they were added later on. I gotta say, the writing in this show is so good. Vince Gilligan is the creator of this show. He had this vision of, like I said earlier, turning Mr. Chips into Scarface. A very interesting idea, but it pays off so well. It works really well. And what I love about this show is that every season it gets better and better. They just up the ante and they improve after each season. Like, I watched season 1 to begin with, and I wasn't really feeling it. It was a shorter season due to the writer's strike back in 2007. And I didn't really know what to think about it, but I'm really happy I stayed with this show. If you're thinking the same thing, just keep watching. It does get better, and it will pay off in the end. One of the most rewarding shows I've ever seen, and I'm so happy I got to experience it. Now for the spoilers segment of my video, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite moments from the series. So if you have not seen Breaking Bad yet, go watch it, come back and let me know what you thought and what you thought of my favorite moments from this show. So, spoiler alert. To see Walt with a gun in his underwear in the middle of the desert at the very beginning of this show, it just gets you like, you're like a little confused. You're like, what's going on? Then you later realize that as a flash forward, and that was actually the end of the episode. So I really love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes from the series, and is most definitely my favorite scene from season 1. My favorite scenes from the second season of the show include when Hank has the shootout with Tuco, where Walt and Jesse are watching from the side. Very intense scene, and you don't want them to get caught by Hank right now, so it was really intense. And that's the first scene of the series where I actually was hooked. Like, I was like hooked on this show, so gotta give props to that scene. When Walt lets Jane, which is Jesse's girlfriend, near the end of this season, when he lets her die, that was a really shocking scene. I'm sure all of you would agree with me on that. To see that Walt actually went to that dark place and didn't help Jane, just let her die for his own gain. That was a big transformation in Walt's character, which I feel is very important to this show. And the final scene, when you see the airplane collide with the other airliner over Walt's house, and you see that pink teddy bear fall into the pool, you get all the clues that you saw earlier in the season throughout the beginnings of each episode, of several episodes. It all adds up, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. Like, that was one of my favorite things from season 2, was seeing how that played out and what was that all about. So it was awesome. Love season 2. It was a great season, and yeah. Season 3 had the shootout, the cousins and Hank, which you didn't really know Hank was gonna make it out alive of that one. Really tense scene, one of the best episodes of season 3. I loved it. Another scene I really enjoyed was when Mike gives a speech to Walt about half measures, and he tells him the story of when he was a beat cop, and he didn't kill the guy when he had the chance, and then he ended up killing some innocent young girl. Really love that scene. It's my favorite scene from Jonathan Banks in this show. I watch it just for the heck of it. It is one of the best speeches in this show, and there's a lot in it. And the final scene from this season, when Jesse kills Gale so that they won't kill Walt. Very, very tense scene. And to actually just hear the bullet and then it fades to black. Oh, I'm glad I only had to wait like 5 minutes to go watch the next episode on Netflix. So I'm lucky for that. Season 4 has the infamous box cutter scene where Gus kills Victor with a box cutter. Did not see it coming, at least I didn't. It was very shocking, and it just showed you what Gus was capable of, and that he is to be feared, and that Jesse and Walt had a serious issue on their hands with Gus. So I really love that scene. And the end of this season, Face Off, one of the best hours of television, I feel like, where Walt convinces Uncle Tio to strap a bomb underneath his wheelchair and to kill Gus for him. And when you see Gus come out of that hospital bedroom with half of his face blown off, it was so shocking and also so rewarding at the same time to see that Walt was victorious this time around. Season 5 has so many scenes from this season that I love. I'm not going to mention them all, I'm just going to mention a few. Dead Freight, one of the best episodes of the show. Perfect through and through, I loved it. Say My Name has one of the best speeches from Walter White, and the death of Mike, which is where it was the first moment where I actually hated Walt and I didn't want him to succeed. Gliding Overall, where Hank realizes that Walt is Heisenberg. And the Ozymandias one. It is the best episode of the series ever. Hank dies, Walt loses his family, and he leaves for New Hampshire to go in hiding. It is such a perfect hour of television. I loved it. In the season finale of the show, Felina, it was a very satisfying conclusion to the show. It was nice to see Walt kill Jack and his Aryan gang, save Jesse, and die where he felt he was most at peace. This is the best show ever produced, I feel like. I could watch it and never be tired of it. It's getting a 5 out of 5 stars from me. And yeah, go check it out if you haven't yet. I don't know why you watched all these spoilers, but if you have not seen this show or you just want to go watch it again, go do it. I highly advise it. I'm probably going to start right now. Now, if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want to tell me some of your favorite scenes, I'm more than happy to talk to you. Go hit up the comment section. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe. I plan on doing more videos like this, more TV Tuesdays, Blu-ray reviews, classic reviews, top 10 lists, and new releases. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.